Hi everyone, this is Brandon's dad, and you're watching True School Sports.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, Anthony Joshua, fresh off of his win against Charles Martin, just demolished homeboy. Got him out of there in 2 rounds. It was pretty easy for the Olympic gold medalist. And he has a huge following in the UK on Sky Sports. And massive star over there. He's got heavy interest from networks like HBO and Showtime to televise his fights. They want to televise his next title defense. They love Anthony Joshua. And all that being said, Eddie Hearn has revealed, and this is according to BoxingScene.com, so shout out to them. But Eddie Hearn has revealed three people on a list of potential fighters for Anthony Joshua in his next fight. So here are the 3 guys, and I'll go in and I'll break this down myself. And there's some quotes, I'll get into those as well. So the 3 names that we see here are all familiar names if you're a heavyweight boxing fan, if you're familiar with the heavyweight division. We have Bermane Stiverne, Eric Molina, and Dominic Breazeale. Now, these are 3 names that we're very familiar with as heavyweight fans. We'll start with the biggest name out of them all. Bermane Stiverne trains right here in South Florida. I just actually did an interview with Bermane Stiverne. It's been popping off here on the channel recently. But anyway, Bermane Stiverne trains right at the Heavyweight Factory, and he's a good fighter, man. He beat Chris Ariella multiple times. Got good power. Beat Derek Rossi recently, a good heavyweight journeyman. Is the only guy that's ever went 12 rounds with Deontay Wilder. So there's he's got a good resume, man. Bermane Stiverne's a good fighter, and against a guy like Joshua, a guy who's been hit by the likes of Dillian White. I think the question we'd ask ourselves if that fight happened is, White was able to hurt Joshua or at least stun him. What would happen if Bermane Stiverne was able to land those same exact flush shots? So that'd be an interesting fight. 2 guys at different stages of their career finally getting a crack at each other. In Bermane Stiverne, with a chance to really do something great in the heavyweight division. So I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that fight. And you have Eric Molina, who was, I believe, the first title defense of Deontay Wilder following his win over Bermane Stiverne, and he's coming off a really good win against Thomas Adamek, a fight where he just beat a guy, Thomas Adamek, a good, solid heavyweight contender. So he's coming in with a lot of momentum, and Joshua would be the favorite, but still a decent fight. Why not make that one happen? And Dominic Breazeale, a guy who's 6'8", taller than Joshua, Olympic pedigree, not a bad fighter. So I'm not opposed to any of those fights. For me personally, I think I'd probably like to see him fight Stiverne, just for the simple fact that Stiverne can really crack. I can go talk to Stiverne about it at the gym. It's a little biased, a little personal interest, but no problem with any one of these fights. I think Eddie Hearn has some quotes on these, so we'll get to his quotes right now. BoxingScene.com. He said the IBF rankings, talking about the IBF. Basically talking about their whole ranking system, and I guess he wants to fight a guy that's in the top 15. So he said, I quote, "The IBF put out the new rankings today, and we have to box someone in the top 15 of those rankings. We expect from those rankings the likes of Bermane Stiverne, Eric Molina, and Dominic Breazeale. Those kind of people will be in the mix. There has been a big interest from the U.S. broadcasters in Anthony Joshua. I think a U.S. opponent for us would make sense. He wants to go in with a real test and a bigger test than what he has been facing so far. The likes of those guys will provide the opportunity. Stiverne is a solid fighter. Eric Molina's coming off a big win against Thomas Adamek, a good fighter, went 10 rounds with Deontay Wilder and rocked him in the fight as well. Breazeale is dangerous, 17-0, 15 knockouts, 6'8" Olympian. So these are real guys, and he wants a real fight." So there you have it from Eddie Hearn himself. So Anthony Joshua, I said it. I think I said it going back to my Dillian White post-fight or post-whatever, fight breakdown, whatever you want to call it. I'm high on Anthony Joshua. I think, hands down, Luis Ortiz is the best right now, and hopefully he gets a fight, but that's another subject. A big fight. Luis Ortiz is the best right now, but of the newer, younger heavyweights, we're talking the Furies of the world, Joseph Parkers of the world, guys of that magnitude, even Wilder, we'll throw him in there. I think Anthony Joshua is hands down the best. He's got the highest ceiling. He's got everything you want. Good personality, very marketable, exciting fighter. Wants to give you exciting quality fights, quality matchups. So it's easy for me. I think Anthony Joshua is going to be the best heavyweight in the world at some point in time during his career. And these are the fights he kind of needs to do that. So I had no problem with any one of these three opponents. I think from my bias aside, if he's looking for his best test, I would probably say that, in chronological order, that Breazeale being a bigger guy, fighting a bigger guy in Breazeale would actually be a good test for him, because Breazeale's a guy who can punch, who is taller than him, who has Olympic pedigree. That would be a fight for Anthony Joshua. That would be very tough. I think he'd still win, but it'd be tough just for the simple fact that it's a stylistic adjustment he's got to make. He's got to adjust to fighting a bigger guy. We see that's a very hard thing to do. We saw Klitschko have problems with that. Klitschko, an all-time great, had problems with that exact problem when he fought Tyson Fury. So if Josh was able to do that, beat Breazeale in impressive fashion, I think that would say a lot more about him. But Breazeale won, Stiverne being 2, just the fact that Stiverne can crack, and Joshua has been shown to get hit. So I think that's probably the second toughest one, and then Molina being 3rd. Molina, good fighter, came off a great win and he has a lot of momentum, but really doesn't have a ton of power. Did stun Wilder, but doesn't have a ton of power and isn't bringing enough to the table to beat Joshua. So there you have it, man. This is the short list of opponents for Anthony Joshua. Let me know what you guys think about that list. Who of the three, being Breazeale, Stiverne, and Eric Molina, who you want to see Joshua fight the most and why? And yeah, man, leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you could love me or you could hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.